In today's video, it's all about understanding your own fucking value. If you watch my videos on the regular, I put great emphasis on the subject of you having to understand of who you are. You need to know your own strength, your own weaknesses in order to navigate through this realm efficiently, elegantly, and smoothly. Unlike the very rest, the averageness all around you and below them, the mob, who absolutely do not know who they are, who absolutely do not know their own strength, their own talents, their own skill set even. They all have greatly shown in life they are only able to follow someone else's guidance. They are basically falling in line. And by falling in line, as I've mentioned in another video, you greatly highlight that you absolutely do not know who you are. You do not believe in your own guidance, your own ability to move effectively in this reality. Meaning, you do not follow your intuition. You do not follow your heart. Both of them can be described as God directly talking to you. And by you not following your own guidance, you do not have to be surprised if there will be hefty consequences to be paid in the future. I've also mentioned quite a few times, people do not understand their own value. They do not understand their own potential. It might be hidden potential that only someone else around them or from far away might be able to see. The surroundings potentially have knowledge about that kind of stuff that I've also described in some of my videos. What, for example, parents might be doing when their children are still small. After all, in today's time, there are tools that you can use in order to find out, for example, the potential future a child or children might have. Examples, astrology and the tarot. So there might be people in the family who, for example, already know that someone in their family is special, that they have something great going on for themselves later on in life. And if there are personality disorders involved in a family, that I've also described, they of course absolutely do not want such a child or such children to blossom into adulthood, into a version of themselves that is absolutely unshakable, unbeatable, and not being able to be manipulated in the slightest of sense. Someone like that, be it man or woman, would move according to their own heartbeat, would absolutely not believe the nonsense that anyone in the family might be saying. And why again do I put emphasis on the family subject? You have to understand this system, this human world system, tries, because of those clowns on the very top, and they are in some cases not even humans, to crush everyone in this society. Everyone should fall in line. Everyone should not think. There were, after all, some clowns and famous quotes that they portrayed greatly to the outside. They do not want to have a nation of thinkers. They want to have a nation of workers. So you need to make sure that you only allow a certain amount of knowledge, a certain amount of skill and possibilities through technology, eventually just a little bit with the mind as well, example spirituality, for people to work with. Only that little amount is available to the people. Everything else that exceeds those rules, those parameters, is too much. And you, as those fucking rulers, basically, you need to make sure that the people laugh about anyone or mock them or belittle them or even attack anyone who dares to find the strength in themselves, be it man or woman, to rise above the pool of norm, standardness, idiocy and bullshittery. So, you have systems in place that keep people in check. Governmental structures, educational systems, healthcare systems, all actually not in people's favor. Actually very much greatly over the last decades portraying that they keep information hidden. More and more information is coming out. More and more of that kind of information is blowing people's minds off, right? especially for those who are seeking the truth, who absolutely are not interested in this garbage nonsense that what people call the matrix has to offer. After all, higher consciousness means access to higher knowledge, greater understanding of your surroundings, especially greater understanding of yourself. If you yourself know who you are way, way more difficult to manipulate, to deceive, and move into a different direction because your heart will not allow that to happen. You have established over time standards for yourself, and how you want to see the world around you manifest over time. So, in other words, you do not allow to be talked in a certain way. You do not allow to be treated in a certain way. You absolutely do not allow to be deceived and manipulated to someone else's advantage. You very much see through the bullshit from the get-go. Over time, you have developed these skills. Over time, people like that, hopefully you as well, put time and effort into finding yourself, so you did meditations, you did Tai Chi, Qigong, you've undergone certain breath exercises that you can find on the internet to completely regulate your own central nervous system. You hopefully work out in a certain way, making it possible for you to once again, also in the physical sense, stimulate your central nervous system. You do not mind going on your knees in order to grab something. Why do you think if you go into a mall, into a supermarket, everything is on eye level, more expensive than if you have to kneel down or if you have to very much grab up somewhere? There's a reason behind that. This system tries to keep people unconscious all life long. This system heavily influenced any adult on this earth, meaning parents. Parents very much are also interested in raising their children in a way that they become like them, not even offering all kinds of information. There's a reason for that. If you have jealous parents, after all, or they display personality disorders, they are absolutely not interested in their children surpassing them, and not just a little bit, greatly. In a way, on your lowest of days, you still outshine these clowns that are 2-3 decades older than you. After all, they have portrayed over those decades no characteristica, no daily habits, no thought patterns that you could have observed over time to see them as winners. They're most likely losers, closing discussions before they even start. You asking a few questions, they are already annoyed by that. Winners are absolutely not like that. You can ask them 1,000 questions. I've mentioned that already as well. The only thing you potentially might be hearing, hey, I need to go to sleep. We can talk about it tomorrow. Because winners know what it means to be a winner. You're standing up one more time all life long. Losers try once or twice, painful, and then they stop. And then they don't want anyone else to walk this path because it puts a bad light on such people. Because they didn't follow their heart. Understanding your value, what makes you unique, means you need to find information that is basically hidden, that is kept away, that transcends this realm. You need to find these answers on the inside, not outside. The outside people all around you most likely will absolutely not know anything that you are wanting to know. Occultic knowledge, for example, whom should you ask? Average people who need to wake up at a certain time and sleep again at a certain time and absolutely do not display anything since many of them are married, for the significant other to honor and respect them all life long, with a great body, with a great mindset, with possibilities and abilities to maneuver through life efficiently, smoothly, one more time, elegantly, together. It's an unconscious lifestyle after all, and they want their children not to surpass them. That's why I put this emphasis so much, not just on only you need to know who you are, but also on the system and the parents, because those two are the very much foundation and greatly highlighting to you the potential you might have. Meaning, if you are stronger than them, you are able to see what you're capable of. They, through the system through them, through your parents eventually, tries to crush you all life long, or through your friends. They put doubt into whatever you want to do. They put heavy emphasis on the subject of your relationships that you might have with other friends, with your significant other, that might be weird to them. All of them, after all, in the video Unconditional Love that I've made, probably absolutely do not understand what unconditional love actually means. And since they cannot comprehend it, they cannot feel it on the inside, whatever they might be seeing on the outside might be completely weird in their opinion. And they might be jealous as fuck for you having that. For you not making the same mistakes they have undergone, they have done, and they have to suffer from. They have to invest a lot of time to heal from that bullshit because they listen to the fools around them. Never ever listen to losers who, in a way, already before a discussion even begins, highlight negativity, highlight doubt, and not just by doing it in a nice way. You clearly throughout the discussion realize in which direction they want to pull you in. There's a major difference if a winner might be asking you if you're ready for XYZ, but at the same time, such a winner will portray and display options to you. So you will never be left alone with doubt. There's actually way more options, potential, information presented to you in that discussion than with losers. Because losers hope that you dim yourself so you don't make the surroundings uncomfortable. You might be already outshining them on your lowest of days. Imagine your highest, the best days, with the best people surrounded, with the best spouse for yourself, believing in you, trusting in you, giving guidance, regardless man or woman. A high frequency that attracts everything into life, higher understanding, higher knowledge that skyrockets, that makes things possible to achieve, basically health and wealth, also the materialistic wealth, all life long. No scarcity mindset, no worry about money, no worry about conditions of the body, no worry about what might happen in the future. Whatever the subject it might be of, if family orientated, society orientated, financial aspects, it's for everyone a complete different thing. But you yourself need to understand who you are. How do you know who you are? By looking inside, by following your heart, by spending time, quality time with yourself and potential people around you with a winner mindset. It's not so uncommon that a lot of people who later on in life became successful, financially free, set for life, that they had to abandon friends, and potentially even their entire family. Because if these people with such skill set, potential, decided to stay in these toxic, disgusting environments, they would have never made it in life. They would have never put bad light on their surroundings one more time. There's lots of people out there you can watch on the internet, on YouTube, Instagram, X, whatever you want to look it on, They basically say, if they decide to, I can love you at a distance, XYZ, but get the fuck out of my life. Stay the fuck over there. You have shown through so many years, potentially decades, that you are toxic as fuck, that you are a manipulator, a deceiver, that you absolutely do not wish the best for any family member, you know? Their success to manifest in the outside world. You don't want that. You have shown, these people have shown that they are losers, insecure on the inside, that small. One more time. Stay away. And it doesn't matter who it is. Stay away. There's your place. Know your place, you know? Acting on such strong core values because you defend them in time and space, and in that very moment, you defend yourself. You set an example to time and space, to the universe, meaning you act on a high frequency. You do not allow to be manipulated. You do not allow to be treated in a certain way, talked in a certain way. You absolutely immediately open your mouth. You immediately highlight boundaries. You immediately highlight by voicing yourself. Hey, there's the fine line. Do not cross that. This is the fine line. Don't cross that. Regardless who it is that is attacking, that is deceiving, that is manipulating. Know who you are. Act on that belief that you have potential in you. One more time. Eventually, someone else might have told you that you have actually incredible strength inside you, that there is something inside you that you yourself might not see, because you are in a pool of low frequency around you, that frequency that is able to completely manipulate the people around you, keep them low as well. But something is in you that is screaming at you. Follow that passion. Follow that path. Follow your heart. Do XYZ. Connect with XYZ. Leave certain people behind, because you might regret it for life later on. You do not want to be someone who regrets and then cries themselves into their bed because they listen to the advice of fools and idiots around them. You give them, by doing so, incredible power. By giving them incredible power, you not valuing yourself, you lose time. You lose time that you could have used to make new potential friends, to connect with your significant other. You have wasted that time eventually to make these losers and bastards happy and proud. You do not make them proud. They're idiots. They want to win at all costs. They do not care how you feel. I mean, why do people put so much emphasis on what the friend circle, for example, is saying if the friend circle is not a circle of winners? These losers at one point, because of certain obligations from the job, or they meet someone else, sooner or later will move away anyway. And if you listen to these fools, you in the end will be standing there with all the possibilities gone. And these fuckers have basically fulfilled their job in stopping you, in putting doubt in you. And they're gone anyway. You want to have a circle of winners. You want to have a spouse that greatly highlights on a day-to-day basis that they are honoring you by working on themselves. You do not want to have a daily life like the rest. You do not want to have the results like the rest. You do not want to complain later on in life like the rest, and then becoming bitter over time about all those people who truly, honestly become successful because they are colored, They made themselves colorful and not gray like the rest. It's an easy lifestyle being gray. It's a convenient lifestyle. You do not make actually anyone miserable, because no one in that friend group, in that family group, greatly succeeded. It's just maybe a little bit of more success, a little bit of more money, a little bit of whatever. But it's not that big impact, that super contrast. Because that would mean a lot of bad light on these fuckers, a lot of bad light on all the decisions that these losers have taken all life long. After all, parents usually are 2 to 3 decades older than the children, right? And they at one point decide not to work out anymore, not to do meditation, not to invest time into learning certain technology so that they actually keep up with time. They start to break down around 40, body-wise. They start to break down mind-wise already. And you want to take on their advice? But they have high expectations of you? If someone has high expectations of you, watch their physical body. Do they portray a mindset of a winner? Once again, physically fit means they have to put in effort and time in order to do so, to have a strong, sexy, handsome body, not just for themselves to stay healthy all life long and attract wealth as well, but also to their significant other, because most adults are married, right? So you want to honor your significant other with a sexy body 2, 3, 4, 5 decades later even. Do people do that on a large scale? Absolutely not. Because it is painful, it is change. Once again, change takes time, change takes effort, change is painful. A convenient lifestyle avoids pain. Therefore, you avoid change. You will not grow. You will be stuck in that low frequency all life long, and you will regret it. I've mentioned that also. There are YouTube videos you can watch. Old people in their 80s, 90s, and 100s. They greatly regret not having turned their hobby into money. They greatly regret not having fought for the relationship, not having risked everything to gain everything. They listen to fools and morons in their family, and 6 decades later, 6+ decades later, they still think of the one they have met in their 20s. But falling in line is easier, right? Falling in line is easier for 6 to 8 decades, than to simply voice yourself, than to simply fight. What is there to lose? Basically nothing. One more time. Convenience. Easy. Expectations that needs to be fulfilled, mostly in the family, by losers who are fat, lazy, stupid, and undisciplined, starting to break down body and mind-wise already around 40. And you want to take on their advice? That means you don't know your own value. That means you absolutely do not know who you are. So by doing so and giving them power, you're losing time. How can you maneuver through this reality elegantly, smoothly, and efficiently? You later on eventually even allow, or such people allow, when they're having children, that these fuckers put their input on how those children now should be raised. How eventually, if someone with high standards, their significant other, be it man or woman, needs to be attacked. Like, what the fuck is that? And then coming with those stupid opinions one more time. You deserve better. You should maybe look somewhere else, and all kinds of nonsense. The children should be raised in a different way. They don't allow that kind of information to flow smoothly. They don't want that to happen. Because someone with a lot of information has a pool of choices, lots of choices. And therefore can choose a lot of things to do in life. Than those who do not have that pool, right? They are limited all life long. And absolutely hate, one more time, if there are personality disorders involved. Anyone who is successful, because you, after all, if it comes to relationships, and you moving, for example, far away with your spouse, meaning you take their favorite toy away. Because people with personality disorders like sociopath, narcissism, psychopaths, borderline, and whatnot, they don't see people as humans. They see them as useful tools that I've also already described in a few of my videos. And by you taking that away, you basically piss off a 4-year-old. Potentially 6 to 8. That's basically the dynamic you have to understand when these clowns are exploding. They would rather destroy their entire family, their entire children's life, than to change a single thing about themselves. Because it's all about them. They are miserable on the inside. And therefore need to spit this garbage nonsense to the outside. And by you knowing who you are, valuing yourself, understanding the value you bring not just for yourself, for your own life, but also to other people's lives. You transform at one point people's lives. You might right now absolutely do not know what you might be doing in 10 years from now. By taking that risk, you might inspire a lot of people. Right now, you would have never imagined to even walk that path. Because you're surrounded by losers and idiots who put doubt in you. My advice, surround yourself with winners. Look for a mentor, for example. It doesn't even have to be a real individual. You can take a mentor from a fictional standpoint. Take a few of their aspects and try to incorporate them into your own daily life. And see the incredible change that's going to happen. I can guarantee you that over time. With your surroundings. Absolutely hating on that. Because you are not controllable anymore. And you start to shine even brighter than ever before. You need to understand that. Have the courage to be yourself.